Incoming transmission. Radio Rebellion.
Welcome to the Rebellion, Season 3 of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. Here we are back, you know it. We were out for a whole month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, who knows, but we are back. 1 year anniversary. Who would have thunk it? We made it a whole year for Radio Rebellion. I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much for the support you've shown the channel, myself, here on YouTube, on the podcast, the audio podcast on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Thank you guys. It's all you. It's all because of you and thanks to you that I'm here. I do this for you guys and also for me because I like talking Star Wars, and so a lot of times it's better talking to people out there. So thank you guys. We got a lot to talk about here. We're ranking Star Wars finally after doing a rewind of all 12 movies, 13 movies counting the Clone Wars. I don't know how many movies. We did all of that last year, and now finally we're going to run down the movies, do our official ranking for right now. We know rankings, they change constantly, so we'll see. We'll see where everything ranks. There's going to be some controversy. Every time someone does a Star Wars rankings, there are controversies, and I think we're going to have a few. We'll see. I'll give a little, not a spoiler, a little teaser. My favorite movie might have changed. I had one movie that was my favorite for, I don't know, the past 20 years, 22, 23 years. Might have changed. The top 3 has changed. Oh, no. So we'll see. So Happy New Year, guys. Come on, Happy New Year. I haven't seen you guys since the end of December when we did our final show, our 51st show back then. Doing the sequel trilogy. We went all through it, but we are back now. Brand new year, brand new season, brand new guests coming soon in about 3 weeks. I think we'll get our first guest. Still trying to book some more people. So if you have any podcasters, YouTubers, anyone out there that you want to see on the show, just let me know. Put it out on Twitter, everywhere. Hey, you guys should go on Radio Rebellion, and we'll get them here. We all a nice family. Sometimes Star Wars fans, man. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. We got to make a comment about all the craziness out there by dumb people. But look at this. I think you guys have seen it. And we're officially, for the first time here, we're wearing our Radio Rebellion shirt. There we go. I don't know. I might put it out there for you guys if you're interested. I might make it available for people. I heard one person said that he wanted one. So we'll see. Maybe we'll make it available. All right. Look what I have here. I have my water. If you follow us, you've seen our shows. I think our last show we had to stop it halfway because I was dying, man. I needed my water, so I'm ready today. Get my water, and I'm ready to talk some Star Wars. But before we do that, let's say hi to a couple of people out there. Of course, our good friend Dale is here. How you doing, Dale? Thanks for coming. Yeah, Happy New Year. You know it. You know it, Dale. And Mr. Rez, thank you for being here. Mr. Rez, Happy New Year's. Changes daily. Yeah, that's Star Wars ranking. It changes daily. I think it might change. I'm looking at my list. There's at least 2 movies. I don't know. They might flip before the end of the show. So we'll see. We'll see. I haven't changed the banners here for that. So maybe not. I don't know. But we haven't gone into it. Before we get there, as always, if this is your first time on the show on Radio Rebellion, I thank you. Thank you very much for coming, enjoying the show. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow. We're currently at 75 subscribers, which is great. Never thought I would be here. But we're going to keep growing, try to hit that 100 number at some point soon. Also, if you're watching this later on the replay, make sure to leave a comment on what you think is your favorite. What's your ranking? What are your favorite movies? What do you think about my ranking? And then just all your favorite in Star Wars. We're not just gonna do our movie rankings. We're gonna talk about which was the most fun during the rewatch, our favorite trilogy, our favorite Jedi, favorite music theme. So anything that's your favorite on Star Wars, just let me know in the comments and just let's make it fun. This year, let's make it fun. And also give that thumbs up, give us a like on this video. If you didn't like it, just click off. Just go, come back later if there's a topic that you think that you'll like. So just give us a like. And then for you guys in the live chat, you know how this goes. As we're going, I'll check your answers. Let me know what you think of my ranking. I start putting, as we're going down to the list, just let me know which are your favorite movies. You can start putting them down right now and we'll read through them. And I think we're almost ready. I think we're getting ready to start. But before we do, like I mentioned, 1 year anniversary. I started this, I think the first episode for the podcast was January 19th of 2020, which seems so far away, so long ago, but we made it. 1 year on the podcast. So thank you guys. There were times when I thought we weren't gonna make it. That first episode, which obviously still is our most played episode, the one that's gotten the most plays on the audio podcast. After that, it quickly went to a couple dozen plays. Of course, a lot of family members, friends wanted to see what it was all about. Myself, I probably clicked on it like 10 times, so that brought up the plays on it. But then episode 2, episode 3, 4, those plays started going down. We had 3 at one point, only 2. I thought maybe we'll throw in the towel. And no, we turned the tide. There's always hope. And here we are, a year later. I've been doing the live streams. I don't know, probably about 35 episodes already have been the live stream. So thank you guys so much. This is what I like. I love doing the live stream. So let's get on it. So yeah, Dale, go do your laundry. We all need clean clothes. We gotta do a wash once in a while. So it's all good. It's all good, right, Mr. Rez? Dale, take your time. We'll be here. Watch it later on the replay. We'll live on YouTube forever, probably. I don't know. All right, so like I mentioned at the beginning, yeah, this is a fun place. We want to make Radio Rebellion fun as always. Star Wars fan, I love you guys, but there's a segment out there that let's just make a comment real quick about yesterday. I think this started yesterday, maybe the day before. Christina Ria was gonna be hosting the new High Republic show on YouTube for Star Wars next week. I think on Wednesday. Very excited for that. You know how racist people out there, the worst of the worst in the Star Wars corner, started going after her, just awful things that we're saying. So I talked about it on Twitter yesterday and this morning. Just making a comment here real quick. You know me, there's no place here on Radio Rebellion for that type of talk or anywhere. So I know that people watching this right now don't aspire to that, don't go that route. But if you're watching this later, listening to this, if that's your view, if seeing a woman of color, a person of color, anyone that looks different than you doing something in Star Wars, and your first reaction is just go online and just offload on them just racist, mean things, dude, get out of here. We don't want anything to do with you. The channel doesn't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with you. So if you don't like something in Star Wars, you don't like the High Republic, you don't like how JJ or Ryan or whoever treated something in Star Wars, that's fine. Say, hey, I didn't like the way this was handled. Leave it. We're all professional. We're all human beings. There's no need to go and just pout hate out there. And if that's your views, don't do it here. We're not following you. Don't follow us. We're not gonna do that. We stand with Christina. We stand with Star Wars, and one day stand behind. So yeah, they need to do better with a lot of things. They put out their statement this morning, backing her up. There's more work to be done, but on our end, we don't tolerate that type of hate. So don't bring it over here. Okay, so are you guys ready? I'm ready. If you guys are ready, I know I'm ready. Let's talk Star Wars. So ranking Star Wars. Here we go. And yeah, that's the one I wanted. Ranking Star Wars on our debut episode of season 3 of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. So This is how it's gonna go. I'm sure you guys know how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna go through my list of movies. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we watched 12 movies. I'm looking at the list right now. All 12 Star Wars movies, the three trilogies, Solo, Rogue One, and the Clone Wars movie. We did our rewatch. We talked about them during the show last season. Everything that we liked about them, some things that we didn't like, and some surprises and stuff of that nature. So we're not gonna leave it till the end. We're not gonna go through all the other rankings and then finish with the movies. No, this is the big one. We're starting big, and let's start. Let's go. Let's do some Star Wars ranking. You guys in the chat, Mr. Rest, Dale, anyone that shows up later, just start writing down what's your favorite movie. At least your top three. And of course, if you're listening later on the audio podcast, just let us know on Twitter, send us a tweet saying what your favorite movies are. And also, if you're listening on the audio podcast, go ahead, give us a rating, ranking, whatever. Rate our podcast. You know what to do. All right, so our 12th movie of all the Star Wars movies. So we watch all of them, and there's a lot to like from all of them. There's some things that we didn't like from a few of them. So let's talk about it. The 12 movies, so our least favorite, we're not gonna say the one that we hate or anything like that. Our least favorite was the Clone Wars movie. So yes, the Star Wars The Clone Wars movie, which came out 2007 or 2008, right before the Clone Wars show started with Dave Filoni, not the Tarkovsky one. So this movie came out first, and I'm sorry, it's my least favorite of all the movies. I've watched it, of course, went to the theaters and saw it. I watched it with my kids where they were a little bit younger. It was fine. I like watching it when they wanted something to watch, just pop it up. But when I watched it this time, I don't know. I mentioned it during our review of it or rewind that it felt like the beginning of Clone Wars. Those 3-episode arcs that are not really that good. There's some great stuff in it. We get, Captain Rex, which I love. We have the introduction of Asajj Ventress, the first female villain that we get in Star Wars. Great. We get more with Dooku, very little with Grievous, but we get Kenobi being the negotiator. We get more with Anakin. So there's a lot of cool introductions, and it builds to, of course, the greatness that is the Clone Wars. But that Clone Wars movie, I'm sorry, that's the one that I didn't like too much. And after this past viewing, honestly, I don't know when is the next time I'm gonna watch it. So yeah, sorry, Clone Wars movie is our 12th movie on our Star Wars ranking. And following number 12, of course, with number 11 and following the Clone Wars movies, unfortunately, is Attack of the Clones. You might have guessed during my rewatch of them, I also mentioned this wasn't one of my favorites. If the Clone Wars movie wasn't here, Attack of the Clones has always been my least favorite. And this movie, I know that prequels in general have grown in appreciation, not just with younger fans, but also with older ones, including myself. And there's a lot of people that love Attack of the Clones. I've met people online that Attack of the Clones is not only their favorite prequel trilogy movie, it's their favorite Star Wars movie in general. I don't fall in that category. To me, it's lacking in a lot of areas. We usually go right to the writing, some of the interactions and acting between Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala are not the best. We talked back then about that we do understand that awkwardness between them, right? These are two young people that don't have that experience in relationship. Anakin, of course, stuck in the Jedi Temple and the Jedi ways, doesn't know how to react with a woman and those feelings that he has. He doesn't know anything about it. Padme's being a queen, a senator, always in the public eye. So now she's trying to be more private, and it's that awkwardness. She talks about having a relationship with this guy, Paulo. But apart from that, there's not a lot of real experience dealing with this real life stuff. So I do understand a little bit of the awkwardness. But to me, there's still a lot of things missing from this movie. But there's a lot of great things in this also. The chase on Coruscant is great. I love everything on Camino with Kenobi and Jango Fett. When they go to the Battle of Geonosis, that final battle is great, of course, and everything on Tatooine with Anakin, the Sand People, Padme, Owen and Beru Lars, all that stuff is awesome. The world building, that's one thing I'll say about Attack of the Clones. I think it's the movie that has done the most world building in Star Wars. We got Coruscant, Geonosis, Camino, Tatooine, the Rishi Maze, clones, we bounty hunters. There's so much world building in this movie that it elevates a lot of it. A lot of stuff that we love from Star Wars came from Attack of the Clones, and I gotta give a little tip of the hat. The music is great in this movie. Probably one top three scores in the whole saga of Star Wars is from Attack of the Clones. So there's a lot of great things on it. But for me, there's something lacking in this story that just bumps it down to that 12 spot. 11 spot. All right, so here we go. Are you guys ready? So I think I'm ready. Let's start getting controversial out there. And this is the one that I'm gonna get some hate probably. It'll be nice hate. I know you guys. You don't hate me that much. Here we go. You see it down there. The Last Jedi. I know. I'm sorry. I know The Last Jedi, it's up here for a lot of people. And that's something that I don't understand sometimes. Not that it's up here for people. It's why it's either the best movie ever made or the worst one. There's never is there an in between when talking about The Last Jedi. And of course, that's a problem. It's a great, well-made movie. There's a lot of stuff to love in this movie. And the things, I love Luke Skywalker in this movie. So don't get me wrong. That's not the reason why I don't have it higher up on my list. And now a lot of people quickly go, yeah, look, they don't know what they're doing with Luke Skywalker. I love Luke Skywalker when I saw him the first time in The Last Jedi. And I still love him when I saw him 2 months ago when I rewatched the movie. So it does make sense. He's also traveled through the Force and everything he has gone through in Star Wars in his story. His arc makes sense the way we find him in The Last Jedi. There's things in the middle that, again, to me doesn't work. Everything with Luke and Rey on Actor works. Everything with Snoke and Kylo, that's my favorite thing. Snoke in this movie, I love everything with Snoke. The way he treats Kylo like a child, that you're a child in a mask, just berating him, and Kylo can't take it. It's a great duality there, a great relationship for people that not for Kylo, right? But I love seeing that. But the in between, the parts, this movie is similar to Empire Strikes Back in a lot of ways. So Empire Strikes Back, I mentioned it last time. It's a very simple story. It's like you're following three simple stories. You have the battle on Hoth, then you have Luke goes to training with Yoda on Dagobah. Han and Leia and Chewie are running away from Vader, and then everyone meets on Bespin. So a very simple movie to follow, but it's awesome. Of course, one of the greatest movie ever, might be my first one. We'll have to wait and see. Last Jedi starts very similar. Attack on the Car. Rey goes to train with Master Luke on Acto. Poe and everyone else who is fleeing from the First Order. And then this is where the difference or the addition that Empire Strikes Back didn't have was Finn and Rose going on their separate adventure before everyone meeting on Crate. And that middle part, those two that I said before Crate, is where it loses me. So Empire Strikes Back, the chase between Vader, the Empire, and the Millennium Falcon is a great story. And I love that part of the movie. The escape from the First Order here, it's not the best. I always want to just finish that. Let's go back to Acto and race training. That part doesn't get me. I know it's like a naval battle, a slow chase in space, but I don't know. And of course, then there's Canto Bight, which we're not going to go through it, but that's the low point for me. Nothing against Kelly Marie Tran, nothing against the character of Rose, but that part That scene is a good sentiment, but just the way it was constructed that didn't grab me. Crate, that's awesome. The music in Crate when Luke comes out and faces the First Order is one of the greatest themes in Star Wars for that, getting you pumped up for that battle. So that part is awesome. Just that middle part doesn't grab me. Okay, number 9, following Last Jedi is The Rise of Skywalker. And this one, surprising for me, landed pretty low on my ranking. I used to have it a lot higher, and I don't know, it went down this time a little bit just because I really enjoy watching a lot of the other movies that I usually had below this one. And again, this is our ranking from just watching the movies this past time. Who knows when I watch them again? It's gonna change. That's what we said, it's constantly changing. I'll say one thing that makes it not as enjoyable, it's watching them while at the same time you're analyzing and trying to review them and keeping notes. You're always stopping, going back, what did he say? Let me write this down. Sometimes you just relax and watch the movie without thinking about doing a podcast about it. It's a little bit more enjoyable. So I think maybe that's why some of the first movies that I rewatched, I enjoyed a little bit more. So Rise of Skywalker. I love the ending to the Skywalker saga. There's a lot of it that I do love. The beginning with Kylo is awesome. I love Rey. Everything with the how the Force connection has evolved to now being able to pass things through space time or whatever you want to call that. The ending is fine, but watching it this last time, I did feel all the cuts and all the jumps and back and forth and just trying to mesh all these different stories. I felt it for the first time, which is one of the biggest criticisms that Rise of Skywalker has taken. Has been this? It's just all over the place. There should have been at least 2 movies, so you give it time to breathe. Each scene should have its own space. I did feel for the first time, chop, 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 chop. Okay, we're done here. Let's go to the other set piece. Now let's go back to this place. Let's go back to Agent Claus. They go to Agent Claus like 4 times. It's like, okay, just pick a place and stay there for 20 minutes and figure out the story. So I did feel that. I still love it. I said it before, I didn't want it, but ended up being my favorite part of the movie was the redemption of Ben Solo. Still get teary-eyed. That part is awesome. But Rise of Skywalker, our 9th favorite movie of Star Wars. Take a little sip. Ooh, excuse me. All right, here we go. This is a surprise. Originally, this used to be further down to the bottom part, and now we're not halfway, but it bumped up a few spots. The Phantom Menace. Yes, the Phantom Menace. Say what you want about the prequel trilogy, Jar Jar Binks, the outdated CGI, the writing. Phantom Menace, man. I had a blast watching this movie. I know it's 8. I still got 7 more to go. There were 1, 2, 4 before this. Phantom Menace was a blast to watch. Brought me back to 1999. I was quoting this movie. I was laughing at everything. I had a great time watching the Phantom Menace. Some great set pieces on it. Of course, Darth Maul, the lightsaber, Duel of the Fates, the pod race, Qui-Gon, Kenobi. It's a great movie. I know it's 8. It's a great movie. People out there that dismiss it, do yourself a favor. Just sit down and just enjoy this movie. It's a family movie, kid-friendly, but there's still a lot going on. Yeah, I know it's the banking clan and trade routes and the taxation of trade routes coming out of Naboo. Who cares? Yeah, I care. Could have been tightened up, made a little bit more entertaining, but after you know the whole story, going back to where it began, it was a great ride. Phantom Menace. I like you. You maybe go up a few more spots. I don't know, because now it gets difficult. So this is the part when I started flip-flopping. Will this go here? Is this 7? No, I think this is 6, maybe 4. I don't know, because this one, there's let's check out a lot of movies going. It's another controversial pick coming on right now that I think some people out there will most likely not agree on it. But our 7th favorite Star Wars movie was Return of the Jedi. I know. I know, don't hate me. Don't send Ewoks after me. Don't send Ewoks to burn me alive and eat me. But yes, Return of the Jedi, for some reason, it's a great movie. It has the best ending to a Star Wars trilogy. The Yup Nub um, ending celebration, whatever you want to call it, it's the best ending in Star Wars. Everyone's there celebrating. We have the redemption of Anakin Skywalker reuniting with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Luke looking at them. Everyone's clapping there. The best ending. I love the ending to Rise of Skywalker and the ending to Revenge of the Sith. This is the best ending in Star Wars. It's my seventh favorite movie. Used to be about 3 or 4. It bumped down to 7. Return of the Jedi. And it all comes down to, is it the Ewoks? I've said I like the Ewoks. I don't like, yeah, I know. Now they're murder bears. Back then, Ewoks. Return of the Jedi, as a kid, was my favorite Star Wars movie for the first 16, 17 years of my life. Special editions came out. Empire Strike Back to the top spot. This one dropped down to number 2 on the original trilogy. Then it went down to the third one, with A New Hope just being above it. And with everything else that has come out, now it has slowly fallen behind. Great lightsaber duel between Vader and Luke Skywalker. Great scene with Jabba the Hutt. We get the Emperor, and everything with the Emperor is just some of the best Star Wars. But for some reason, when I sit down and I say, hey, let me watch a Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi won't be the first one that I'm going to reach out. There's some that are going to go ahead of it, including this one. This is where the one I was just saying as we started the show, that I might flip-flop. And I want to say, I want to change it, but I can't. Can I? I don't know. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it where it is, and I don't know why, because I think it should be 5. This should be, you know what? I'm going to do a quick change here, you guys. You know what? I just changed my mind during the live stream because, yeah. So let me just make this quick change here. Oh, man. All right. So number 6 wasn't this movie 10 seconds ago. This movie was number 5, but I just changed it. So number 6 on our list, so halfway through the list, our number 6 movie is Rogue One. I had a different movie here. Had to bump it down because the other movie I just love so much. Rogue One is a movie that has gone through a whole roller coaster in my Star Wars ranking. Loved it when it came out, became one of my favorites. This came right after The Force Awakens, which I love so much. Then people started bashing The Force Awakens because they prefer Rogue One. So I just went, no, Force Awakens is better. So Rogue One went down. And then slowly has been climbing. It was just my 5th favorite movie 2 minutes ago. I just bumped it down for a single reason. I'll say in a few. But Rogue One has, in my opinion, like everything here, of course, I think it has the best cast. It has the best acting in Star Wars. An extremely underrated score by Michael Giacchino, who had about 4 weeks to come up with this and record it. And of course, one of the greatest space battle with the battle on Scarif. And of course, Vader, the Vader hallway scene. So there's so much in Rogue One. We get Cassian Andor, Gene Erso, Bodhi Rogue. So much. I don't know if you guys heard that. Something fell in the kitchen. Some pots and pans fell. So it's a little bit of noise in the house. I think they didn't like my switching of Rogue One from 5th to 6th, but I did it. I'm sorry. So Rogue One takes my 6th spot. My 6th spot. All right. So again, you guys out there, if you're on the chat, just let me know what your ranking is, or at least your top 5, because we're about to start with our top 5. So I want to see if we're on a similar page. I know it's difficult sometimes to rank Star Wars. All right, so we're halfway. We're halfway through our ranking. So let's recap real quick. At number 12, it was the Clone Wars movie. Number 11, Attack of the Clones. Number 10, The Last Jedi. 9th, Rise of Skywalker. 8th, The Phantom Menace. 7th, Return of the Jedi. And number 6, Rogue One. All right, so are you guys ready? So number 5. So here we go. We're gonna start with our top 5. So these are movies I can watch. I mean, all of them I can watch one every single day of my life. Number 5. This movie was number 6 5 minutes ago, but I had to change it. I had to change. I love this movie so much. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna. There's another ranking I'm gonna go in a few minutes. Number 5. Solo, a Star Wars story. Hashtag make Solo 2 happen. So Solo is a romp. I'm gonna say now, it's my comfort Star Wars movie. Alden Ehrenreich knocked it out of the park with Han Solo. I know this is extremely controversial. When I think of Han Solo, the person that comes to mind is Alden. I know Harrison Ford made the character. He's the character. He's the main person for 99 probably percent of the fandom out there. For me, I love Alden's portrayal of Han Solo. I love Chewbacca in this movie so much. So Solo is my number 5 Star Wars movie. Maybe it's not the funniest because Rogue One has a lot of funny one-liners. It's not funny. I'm smiling. As soon as they say we'll have you fly in no time, I start smiling. I don't stop till the end till the credits roll. I'm like Kira when she tells you smile. That's the word when I thought about going with you on one of your adventures. That's me through this whole movie. Another extremely underrated score by Simon Powell, underrated acting by Emilia Clarke, Alden. We get Dryden Voss. Everyone's right now loving WandaVision and Vision. Dryden Voss, one of the greatest Star Wars villains, extremely underrated. Underrated. Solo, man. That's all I can say. Solo, Solo, Solo. Go watch it. Give it another. Yeah, Mr. Rest. Make Solo 2 happen. Give it another chance. If you haven't watched it in a while, give it another chance. That's what a lot of people are saying. Oh, I didn't watch Solo because of all the bad press. I give it a chance on Disney Plus. We love it. Do yourself a favor. Go watch Solo, a Star Wars story. That is one great movie, a great ride. It might be surface level. A lot of people say, yeah, it's a good adventure. It's a good episode of Clone Wars of Rebels. Yeah, it's a great adventure. If I just want to smile, put Solo on. Start going through it. There's a lot of deep meanings in this movie. A lot of people just think it's a surface movie. No, there's a lot of stuff with L3 and with Kira. Come on, L3 is fighting for droid rights, liberating. We should be treated equally. And she ends up trapped as a slave inside the Millennium Falcon. And our first reaction is, oh, yes, she's one of the brains of the Falcon that talks to 3PO on Empire Strikes Back. Yes, but look how she got there. Everything, come on, that's deep stuff. And then Kira, oh, how did you get out when Solo meets her in Dryden's yacht? Oh, I didn't. She's branded for life. She can't escape that life. She's always a step ahead of Han. There's a lot of deep stuff in this movie, plus everything that we love in Star Wars. Found family between Han and Chewie, obviously, but also with Beckett and his crew, and with Kira. There's a lot of stuff in Solo I guess overlooked. Solo, number 5. And just because the other movies are just too great, I couldn't put you higher. All right, number 4. And this is where movies start switching and flipping. I'm going to tell you guys before our rewatch, my top 4 were number 1, Empire Strikes Back. Number 2, A New Hope. Number 3, The Force Awakens. And number 4, Revenge of the Sith. Those were my top 4 before our rewatch that we started, I think, around September. I'm going to tell you now, it's not that anymore. All the movies move. And this is, man, I can't believe I'm going to be saying some of this, but let's get at it. Number 4 on our ranking of Star Wars movie is the one that started it all, A New Hope. A New Hope. Come on. There will be no Star Wars without A New Hope. And I think that's a lot of times why people put it so high on their list as their favorite one, because, without A New Hope, there wouldn't be any Star Wars. And I understand that fact, but we have to try as hard as it is to put our emotions to the side and just watch the movies. A New Hope is great. I know some people don't like the first act. Everything on Tatooine is a little bit slow. I love it. Han Solo doesn't make an appearance till about 35 minutes, 40 minutes in the movie. And I don't mind everything with Luke, Obi-Wan, R2, C-3PO, Vader, Leia, all that stuff. Tarkin is awesome. And then you add Han Solo, the Millennium Falcon, Chewbacca. That's no moon, the Death Star. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you, and everything else. The music, come on, it has the greatest musical theme in all of Star Wars, which we're gonna mention soon. But the Binary Sunsets, so much in A New Hope. It's awesome. Some of the great Star Wars comes from A New Hope, but I just enjoy the other three movies more. So A New Hope, we love you. Thanks for everything that you've done for Star Wars. You're number 4 on our list. And I don't know if I'm ready for this, but we're gonna do it. Number 3 on our list. I'm afraid to say it. I'm afraid. I don't know if I believe it, but here we go. Number 3 on our ranking of Star Wars movie is The Empire Strikes Back. The one that was my favorite movie since 1996-97 when the re-release, the special editions came out. Empire Strikes Back has been my favorite movie, not just Star Wars movie, my favorite overall movie for the past 23 years or something like that, 24 years. Never in my wildest imagination did I think that something would supplant that movie. And it did. At least during this rewatch, the other two movies, which you can start thinking which ones they are, surpass my enjoyment of Star Wars, my enjoyment of watching the actual movies. Empire Strikes Back dropped from number 1 to number 3, and I can't believe it. It took 23 years for it to be overthrown. Empire Strikes Back, the best Darth Vader that there is in this movie. We get the Imperial March for the first time. The Great Battle of Hoth, which I'll say during this last time didn't get me as much. The beginning, yes. Han looking for Luke is awesome. Yoda and Dagobah and Luke Skywalker is probably some of my favorite Star Wars in general. It's what makes this movie. I just love those parts so much. Again, you know me. What I love about Star Wars is that connection to the Force, and this to me is the most Force-centric movie in the whole saga. But for some reason, it just dropped down. It has my second favorite, my favorite original trilogy lightsaber battle is here between Luke Skywalker and Vader on Cloud City. We got my boy Boba Fett make his original appearance here in Empire Strikes Back. It's the greatest, right? It was the greatest movie for 20-some years, but it dropped to number 3. And I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back, that I have you at number 3, but what can you do? You gotta go with your heart sometimes. Or with your mind. I don't know. Maybe if I went with my heart, I wouldn't have changed it. Empire Strikes Back, we love you. You had a great run. 25 years, 24, great run. Nothing to be ashamed of. All right, so number 2, our second. And then after number 2, you know what? Which one is going to be number 1? So we have 2 movies. Cool thing about this is that my top 3 movies are one from each trilogy. And I didn't plan it, but one is from the prequel trilogy, one is the original trilogy, and one is from the sequel trilogy. And that's the one we're showing right now. Our second favorite movie was The Force Awakens. Yes. 2015, The Force Awakens came out. I was scared to hell about this movie. I didn't know what to expect. Will it feel like Star Wars? It took me like 15, 20 minutes to get into it, but after that, The Force Awakens is one of my favorite movies of all time. As you can see, it's our second favorite movie here in our ranking. Force Awakens, man. I live tweeted this movie as I was rewatching it. I love this movie so much. Similar to Solo, I'm smiling a lot through this movie. Finn, played by John Boyega, Rey by Daisy Ridley, Kylo Ren, man, Poe Dameron. There's so many great characters introduced in this new trilogy. Say what you will about it. It's just a retweak of A New Hope. I don't care. Say what you want. Say what you want about JJ. The score by John Williams is awesome. Ray's theme is awesome. Kylo Ren's theme is great. The relationship that forms between Finn and Poe, with all your Finn Poe's shippers out there, is a great relationship as soon as they meet. The escape of Jakku, some of my favorite Star Wars. That battle at the end on Starkiller base is one of my favorite lightsaber battles. Force Awakens, man. That's again second favorite movie, The Force Awakens. Here we go. You know which one it is. We went through all of them, so there's only one. It's only one standing. Sorry, here we go. Revenge of the Sith. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, our number one Star Wars movie in our Star Wars movie ranking. Yes, I said it. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie as of today. It used to be my third favorite Star Wars, my fourth favorite Star Wars movie. It just jumped. There's so much in Revenge of the Sith that I love that I couldn't rank it any lower. This is the most emotional Star Wars movie for me. It starts great with the battle over Coruscant, one of my favorite space battles. I can't even think right now. Mustafa, let's just the score in this movie. Kenobi, Anakin just falling to the dark side, not feeling that he's not trusted to be a master. The music in this one, man, I can't even talk about it, right? I don't know why, but Revenge of the Sith, it just blew me away watching it again. I know some of the acting still could have been a little bit better. Some of the dialogue could have been a little bit better, but Revenge of the Sith, favorite Star Wars movie, number one on our ranking. We finally we get the plan. Palpatine's plan is played out for everyone. How Anakin Skywalker fell to the dark side, the hero of the Republic, the chosen one. How can he turn to Darth Vader that we're going to meet a few movies later? It was all here. Great acting by everyone. The final, but everything from Order 66 on is just waterworks. Everything, the music is emotional. The acting is great. You have Anakin and Padme just feeling each other's presence and feeling so far away. Kenobi, no, I can't believe it. He couldn't have done it. Yoda going after the Emperor. Of course, I can say, hello there. Oh, Kenobi, you are the bold one. Revenge of the Sith, number one in our Star Wars ranking. So that is it. That is our Star Wars ranking. Now, I love to hear what you guys think. What's your ranking on Star Wars? At least your top 3 or top 5. Let us know in the comments. Send me a message on Twitter or wherever, and we'll talk about it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll reply back. I always try to reply back to you guys. So yes, Revenge of the Sith, man. I know it might be the easy choice of what people think when as the best prequel trilogy movie, but for me, it's number one on our Star Wars ranking. Whew, that was something. Oh man, I'm glad I got through that. I was scared of a few. I was afraid to say a few of those rankings. There might be a little bit of blowback later on. All right, so we still got like 17 minutes to go, so let's keep talking more Star Wars. We all love Star Wars. We're back finally, season 3 of Radio Rebellion. 1, 2, 3, season 3. So what was the most fun during the rewatch? So the most fun to rewatch was actually The Force Awakens. Sorry, The Phantom Menace. I didn't expect The Phantom Menace to blow me away the way that it did. I was like, okay, I like The Phantom Menace. I'm okay with Jar Jar. Let me just sit down and watch this. I had a blast rewatching The Phantom Menace. Like I mentioned, just bump up like 3 or 4 spots in my ranking. It was just extremely fun, extremely entertaining. So like I said, do yourself a favor if you haven't watched it in a long time and go watch The Phantom Menace. Then second that we had the most fun watching was The Force Awakens. Force Awakens, similar, is just a very entertaining movie. If you want to say it's a popcorn movie, that's what J.J. Abrams does. It's a retell of A New Hope. I don't care. you get a bunch of brand new characters. We get again a stormtrooper turning to the good side. Is something we've never seen before. Rey is a great introduction to Star Wars. Kylo Ren, even if he starts as an emo whiny kid, he just makes sense. Return of Han Solo. We get Leia back. The music, Chewbacca is great in this movie. Maz Kanata. The world is expanded. So Force Awakens, our second most enjoyable during the rewatch. Phantom Menace first, then Force Awakens. All right, so what's our favorite trilogy? So still, our favorite trilogy will still be the original trilogy. I don't think that's going to change. I only have one of those movies in the top three, with then A New Hope number 4 and Return of the Jedi 7. So original trilogy is our favorite trilogy. It has the most cohesive story, and we know all the issues with the sequel trilogy and how it was melded together. So the original trilogy is our favorite trilogy. We just grew up with it, so I think it will always be our favorite trilogy. But the trilogy with the best story, our favorite trilogy story, is the prequel trilogy. The story of how Anakin Skywalker falls to the dark side and Palpatine grows in power and overtakes the Republic and the Jedi is the best Star Wars story. Might have not been told the best way, but I think it's the best story out there. It's if you sit down and you explain to someone that has never seen Star Wars or doesn't know too much about it, and you go through all three trilogies and just explain all of them, the prequel trilogy wins hands down. So, excuse me, prequel trilogy has the best story in Star Wars, and I'll stand by it. So, what's our comfort movie? Our comfort Star Wars movie is Solo, a Star Wars story. And I said it before. If I just want to have some fun, I pop in Solo, and I'm just gonna love it. I love that movie. I enjoy it every time that I watch it. So Solo is our favorite comfort movie, and right behind it is The Force Awakens. That's another one that if I just want to have fun, not think about it. I mean, that sounded like, yeah, just put it there and I'll just be doing something else in the background. No, sit down and you won't move for 2.5 hours. Solo and The Force Awakens. Those are my comfort movies. What's our favorite scene? So let's break this down by trilogy. So our favorite scene in the prequel trilogy is the Battle of the Heroes. So everything with Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi in Mustafar. Since Padme gets there and she starts having that conversation with Anakin, and then Obi-Wan shows up, they have the conversation in that platform, then they start the battle and everything till the end. I love you, you were my brother, I hate you, you're supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. Favorite scene in the prequel trilogy. For the original trilogy, our favorite scene, and probably our favorite scene in all of Star Wars, I mentioned this before, comes from A New Hope, and is Luke on Tatooine overlooking the two suns, and you have the binary sunsets playing for the first time. Favorite scene in all of Star Wars. Favorite scene in probably any movie out there is Luke overlooking that twin suns on Tatooine. Nothing can beat that for me, because that's the epitome of what Star Wars is. That hope that life can be better for yourself, for the whole galaxy, is that scene. That will always be my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. And then for the sequel trilogy, our favorite scene is from The Force Awakens, Rey calling the lightsaber to her, grabbing the saber for the first time, and again, you get the binary sunsets Jedi theme playing. It just does something every time I see that. I get emotional. We all thought it was going to be Luke Skywalker at the other end of that lightsaber. Having Rey be the one that grabs it, she's so scared that first time that she turns the lightsaber on, and then she starts calming down. The music starts playing and getting higher. That's our favorite scene from the whole sequel trilogy. Lightsaber duels. Let's do the same thing. Prequel trilogy. Battle of the Heroes. It has to be. Battle of the Heroes is my favorite lightsaber scene in all of Star Wars. I understand that Duel of the Fates is up there. Darth Maul is really nothing You can't go wrong with that. But Battle of the Heroes, just for what it means, having Obi-Wan Kenobi going against his Padawan, Anakin going against his mentor and friend, there's just something about it that gets me. So it's my favorite. So Battle of the Heroes from Revenge of the Sith is our favorite lightsaber battle from the prequel trilogy. Over on the original trilogy, I just mentioned it before, Vader versus Luke Skywalker on Empire Strikes Back. I understand, I know that the one in Return of the Jedi is a little bit more emotional. Luke is fighting out of anger to protect his friends and to protect Leia. But Vader versus Luke on Empire Strikes Back is just so raw, so dominating, the way that Vader is just manhandling Luke all the way through, and then at the end, because his arm does the delivery. No, you told me, he told me the truth. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father. That's to me is my favorite lightsaber battle from the original trilogy. And from the sequel trilogy, no surprise, from The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren versus Rey and Finn on Starkiller Base. It's our favorite lightsaber battle from the sequel trilogy. Favorite movie score. So, not music theme. What movie has the best score in general? For me, it's Revenge of the Sith. Let me just go down through some of the scores, the different music themes in this movie. Battle of the Heroes, Padme's Rumination, Palpatine's Teaching, Enter Lord Vader, which is when he's walking with the Fireful first up to the Jedi Temple. The immolation scene, which is hauntingly painful when he's about to kill all the younglings. You have a little bit of Across the Stars. The whole music score of Revenge of the Sith is our favorite score of all of Star Wars. And like I mentioned, very underrated is the score for Rogue One. Rogue One and Michael Giacchino deserves another shot to score a Star Wars movie, given enough time with the story. He can knock it out the park again. But our favorite movie score is going to be Revenge of the Sith. Attack of the Clones is close to it. There's a lot of great music themes in Attack of the Clones. So talking about music themes, actual themes in Star Wars, I get a bunch that I wrote down because you can just choose one. Star Wars is known for its themes, and there's a lot to pick from here. So number one, Binary Sunsets. I've probably said every episode. Binary Sunsets is my favorite musical theme in Star Wars. Binary Sunsets, Jedi theme, whatever you want to call it. That's my favorite one. Imperial March has to be a close second. It's probably the most iconic Star Wars theme out there, the one that everyone knows what it means. They know it's Vader, they know it's the Empire, it's the bad guys, it's the Imperial theme. Duel of the Fates. Duel of the Fates, man. That's a lot of people's favorite. My brother-in-law's favorite. Duel of the Fates elevated the Phantom Menace. Even for people that didn't like it that much, just that battle with Darth Maul and the music. Duel of the Fates is one of the most iconic Star Wars themes out there. Rey's theme became one of the most iconic Star Wars themes out there, and it's just so awesome. And you combine Rey's theme with Jedi Steps at the end of The Force Awakens. Again, John Williams, I don't know how he's done it for 40 years, but every time he just brings something new to every movie. So Rey's theme is another one. Across the Stars has become one of the most iconic Star Wars theme out there, and that one is just, if you're in a mood and you put Across the Stars, just have the tissues nearby because it's, oh man, I can't even, Across the Stars is on another level. Again, it's not my favorite, but in terms of musical mastery, Across the Stars is, oh man, it's out there on another level. Battle of the Heroes, like I mentioned, also slash with Anakin versus Obi-Wan. It's titled different on the soundtrack. So Battle of the Heroes and Anakin versus Obi-Wan, it's my favorite one from the prequel trilogy. One that doesn't get mentioned enough is the Trade Federation theme that on the soundtrack, I think it's called Droid Invasion. I just love that one so much. It's the prequel trilogy version of the Imperial March that when you hear it, you know it's the bad guys. So that Droid Invasion Trade Federation musical theme is great out there, one of my favorite ones. And so some honorary mentions, and these are ones that, because I've said too many right now. So honorary mention is Leia's theme, and this should be high on my list, but the reason I have it as an honorary mention is because I didn't pay too much attention to it, unfortunately, until Carrie Fisher died. Once she died, as soon as this theme starts, it just amplifies in my head, and I start to love it. So it took me a long time to get to it. So that's why I have it down as another honorary mention. But it's another great theme in Star Wars, so peaceful and poetic. Just another great delivery by John Williams. I'm finishing up real quick. Enfys Nest and the Millennium Falcon theme. Millennium Falcon, we all know. When we heard that in Force Awakens, I myself, I lost it. But Enfys Nest theme doesn't get. I don't know. Anything that has chanting in Star Wars is going to be one of my favorites. And Enfys Nest theme from the solo Star Wars movie is great. I'm crossing my fingers that she's going to show up in the Cassian Andor series. And that theme has to be there. So if I hear that theme similar to when Boba Fett showed up in The Mandalorian, and we heard the Slave One, we knew what was coming. And of course, the seismic charge, and we all lost it. I'm going to lose it if I hear the Enfys Nest theme in the Cassian Andor series, in Andor, I should say. All right, so let's be wrapping this up. We got 4 more minutes, and we have one Rebel thought. So I want to do our best for season 3 to stay to that 1 hour timeline. Characters, favorite character used to be Boba Fett. If I go with my emotions and my history, Boba Fett will always be up there. So he's my legacy, if you want to call it that, legacy favorite character. But my favorite character has grown through the past 10 years is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Did a whole episode about Obi-Wan Kenobi during season 2. There's so much. There's so much about Kenobi that I can talk about in 3 minutes. And I'm so pumped for the Kenobi series. It's going to make this character even wider. I can't wait for the Kenobi series and what it's going to do to my love of this character. And then it goes to Jedi. Let's talk about our favorite Jedis real quick. So, favorite Jedi, again, Kenobi. We just talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's up there as my favorite Jedi. Luke used to be my favorite Jedi till probably 10 or 15 years ago. Yoda is up there, one of my favorite Jedi. Everything that Yoda says, his view of the Force is some of my favorite stuff in Star Wars. And I gotta put this guy there, Kanan Jarrus. Caleb Dune has become one of my favorite Jedi out there for you Rebels fans. So Kanan, don't sleep on Kanan. I know a lot of people love him, but if you haven't watched Rebels, Kanan Jarrus is a great Jedi. He should be in all your list. Real quick, villains. Palpatine / Sidious, of course, one of the best villains. Darth Vader's probably my favorite villain. Thrawn has grown up there with Rebels and the Thrawn books. And like I mentioned before, my boy, Dryden Voss. Dryden Voss should be up there, some of the favorite villains in Star Wars. Yeah, make Rogue 2 happen, Solo 2 happen, make everything happen that we like here. Dale, you made it back at the end, Dale. Thanks for being here, Dale. Let us know quick before the end of the show. What are your top 3 movies, Dale? You just missed Star Wars. Or some of your favorite characters, musical themes, whatever. Or just leave a comment below after the live chat is done. Leave us a comment with a little bit longer mention of your favorites out there in Star Wars. So with that said, we'll finish our rankings. That's our Star Wars ranking. Real quick for you guys that came in late or you're watching this later. Number 3, Empire Strikes Back. Number 2, The Force Awakens. And number 1, Revenge of the Sith. Yes. All right, so let's go to a part of the show where I listen to you guys, which I love to call Rebel Thoughts. So Rebel Thoughts, when you guys send me either your questions or just a general thought on Star Wars. And of course, today's general thought is about our favorites. So our friend, I put this out there, and our friend, Connor, I should have done this first. Here we go. Connor, at Con_Raw says, oh man, so my hashtag Rebel Thoughts. The score Passing the Sword, which is in my if my information is correct, was arranged by David Glenn Russell in Rebels. It's one of my favorite pieces in Star Wars. And that's when Sabine is training with Kanan to use the Darksaber. I listened to it before this. You're right, it's a great score. Not my favorite from Rebels. I'll talk about my favorite from Rebels when I do my Rebels recap in a few weeks. Favorite Jedi: Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, and Cal Katarn easily. So yes, Connor, thank you, Connor, part of the Outer Rim Reads podcast. Check them out. He's gonna be joining. They're gonna have a new show coming in a few. So yes, thank you, Connor, for your thoughts, your rebel thoughts. All right, so that is it. Let me see some last minute comments by our friend Dale saying he's been in and out. That's he's working. So he thinks that they're all great for one reason or another, and I agree. That's hard. That's the why it's so hard to do rankings in Star Wars, because they just change constantly. Every movie has something that we like, and that is it. That I'm gonna call it. We did it 1 minute. 1 hour and 1 minute. We stuck to our guns. We went through all my list, talked about Star Wars, talked about our rankings. Season 3, 1 year anniversary. Don't be a racist jackass out there to women of color that work in Star Wars, or to anyone in general, but we don't want that in our space. So like I said, like this video, comment, subscribe, leave us a rate and review on the audio podcast. You can follow us. You can see it down there on Instagram and Twitter at Radio Rebel Pod. Next week, we are finally going to talk about that Disney investor call. All the new shows are coming. So the future of Star Wars is next week. 2 weeks from today, we have our first guest. Outer Rim Reads is going to be here. We're going to be talking about canon books in Star Wars. Then we're going to be reviewing Light of the Jedi the week after that. Then A Test of Courage. Then we have Maggie from Let's Talk About Star Wars. Star Wars is going to be here. Our friend Salacious Crumb is going to be here a few weeks after. From a certain point of view, it's going to be great. Season 3 is going to be awesome. Thanks to everyone out there. Thanks to you guys. Dale, Mr. Rest, Tony, thanks for being here today. Everyone listening to this later on the podcast, on the replay, thank you for all that you do for us. Stay safe. Be safe. And may the Force be with you.